Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest episode of Anniversary Edition. This week, it's the 25th anniversary of Stargate. Before we get into that, let's go around the room, introduce ourselves. If you haven't heard of us before, take it away. Tom?
I'm Tom.
Yeah, you are.
Thanks for setting up.
No worries. Congratulations, man, on being Tom. And next to him on his left...
Kieran. You haven't introduced yourself, though.
Well, I'm Adam. And
I'm flying start already.
I'm presenting this episode, which I'm very excited about, because Stargate for me was, oh man. Do you remember when Stargate came out 25 years ago? And it seemed to be around this era where films really informed culture.
I don't know how much Stargate informed culture.
Egyptian, myths and legends, I was very deeply into around Stargate. Okay. All right. And it can't have been a coincidence. Can it?
Well, I mean, I guess,
maybe your teachers at school were like, hey, this sci-fi movie involving Egyptian stuff is out. Maybe we should teach the kids about Egyptian stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
My school was not that forward-thinking. I did things like cholera. That's what I got. My GCSE, not joking, my GCSE history... project, thesis. What even do you call it at GCSE?
I don't know.
The main written project that was not an exam that we were marked on was the year before us got the Romans and their influence in the UK.
That's cool. Love the Romans.
We got cholera in Watford.
Cholera in Watford?
Yes.
Still a problem, I hear.
Yeah. So balls to you, Mr. Ryan and Bushy Hall School. You set me up for absolutely nothing.
So I saw Stargate in the cinema. I definitely saw Stargate in the cinema, and I loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Tom, how about you? When did you first see it?
I first saw it, would have been last Wednesday night.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you hadn't seen Stargate up to the point where you knew we were doing this episode?
Yep.
Same here.
And same there.
I'd seen some of it. So when I was watching it, there were bits I remembered, and I think I'd seen the last hour previously. So I had not seen this whole movie from start to finish.
So for me, Stargate. Yeah. Obviously, I knew it was a movie, and I remember it coming out and all that kind of stuff. But I always think of it as that TV show that I would watch 5 minutes of and be like, "Oh, cool, there's MacGyver. Oh wait, he's not MacGyver. That's a shame." And then I turn it off because I was just so disappointed that it wasn't MacGyver.
But this film has nothing to do with the...
I know it doesn't.
For me, a high-concept action movie, which is what Roland Emmerich sort of does a lot of, is an instant watch.
Well, this was the beginning of the Devlin Emmerich conquering of the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This led to Independence Day and all of
2012
and the weird stuff with the weather and
all of those. Right. Yeah. So going into this, I didn't even clock that it was Roland Emmerich until just as I started watching. I thought, I wonder who directed it. I literally all I knew about it was something sci-fi-y, something Egyptian-y, Kurt Russell, James Spader. That was pretty much my entire knowledge going in. So I quickly was like, let me just double check what year it was and stuff like that, just to give myself a little bit of context, because I hadn't even thought much beyond that. So I quickly looked at the first bit of thing on IMDb and it was 1994, so 25 years, and saw Roland Emmerich, and I was like, this would be interesting, because up until this point I've always kind of thought that Roland Emmerich has only ever made one good film.
No, it's not the case.
It is.
Showing your hand a little bit there.
Yeah, it clearly is, and it's not this one.
Oh dear. So, instant reaction from Tom: did not like Stargate.
No.
Kieran?
Kieran did not like Stargate.
Kieran did not like Stargate.
No.
You're both clearly failing to embrace your inner child in this one.
When this came out, I was 15 years old and really just starting to get critical about movies. So this is when I'd started buying Empire and Total Film and those kind of things. And it's funny that even today I can remember this getting mediocre reviews. And for some reason, I don't know, it didn't appeal to me and I didn't go and see it.
Yeah.
But then when Independence Day came out 2 years later, I was all over it. I think I saw that 3 times at the cinema.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I know Independence Day is at its heart a shit film.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that I really love. And this just didn't grab me. And I wanted it to, because it's full of elements that I like. And there's stuff in it that I like. But overall, I'm quite happy never to see this again.
Okay. Independence Day and Stargate, to me, do sit in exactly the same bubble.
Yeah. Are you a big fan? You like Independence Day as well?
I like Independence Day just fine. I like Stargate just fine.
Yeah.
I do not think that Stargate is one of the best films ever made. It has a laundry list of problems.
It sure does.
Yeah.
But I think it's just good fun.
See, I don't like Independence Day at all. I don't like 2012 and all those kind of stuff. It's just they just don't do anything for me. Day After Tomorrow, I think, was another one.
They're quite content light.
Yeah,
but they're just sort of Roland Emmerich comes up with a way to create just like a dumb situation that involving aliens.
It's big stupid disaster fun. And it was nobody was doing like Tower Inferno and Martians invading movies until they did Mars Attacks and Independence Day in the same year.
Yeah.
But it was a throwback to all the
disaster movies,
this Owen Allen stuff that he loved as a kid.
I totally get that, and I think so. My big issue with Stargate, is it's a really great concept, but, and I think this probably goes with in my opinion, most of Roland Emmerich's stuff is that he concentrates so much on plot and set pieces that's all it is. It's just a group of people going from A to B to C. And it's not like all of the characters are 100% generic cookie cutter stereotypes. And yeah,
that's true.
Like you don't really care because there's nothing to draw you to any character in particular. So ultimately, the interesting concept and pretty well structured plot is all for nothing because you don't actually care. So the person, like when you've got an actor like Kurt Russell who oozes charisma, and you're watching him thinking, wow, he just looks bored.
Yeah.
Like
even a bored Kurt Russell is still the best thing about this film.
Exactly. And I'm just like, that's why I struggled with it, because I was just like, there's so much lost potential. And you kind of get into that point where you're just like, oh man, think what this could have been.
So yeah,
and by that point, I'm just lost. I'm never going to get it back.
Like he was fresh from beating M. Bison.
He does like
Guile's theme played in my head whenever he appeared on the screen. Yeah, imagine that Street Fighter movie that Van Damme made.
Yeah,
but with Kurt Russell instead of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I mean, it wouldn't have been any better.
No, well, marginally.
Kurt Russell is so watchable in everything, but he's very much a muted version in this film.
He does have an air of I showed up for the payday. Crap, and now I'm in the desert.
And the person who famously showed up for the payday, the lead star in this film, James Spader, who doesn't like Stargate, hated the script, but got offered a boatload of money for it and thought, well, I should just do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who I'm gonna suggest right now that James Spader's character, Dr. Daniel Jackson, is perhaps the villain of the piece. Does he do anything right at any point? How many lives is he in danger at any point in any one scene?
All of these people are just like, the endangerment starts fairly soon off, because
Kurt Russell, who his character who endangers his son, ends up his son dying before the film starts, goes on to be a pretty great soldier. I'd have him in my army any day.
Well, yeah, but he's supposed to be the villain of the piece because he's supposed to have the ulterior motive for being there. But
bomb the Stargate. But what do we care?
Yeah, and that kind of becomes a moot point almost as quickly as it's revealed.
It's only there. The bomb is only there so the big blockbuster movie can end with an explosion.
Exactly, yeah.
It's the only reason for it.
Well, also there has to be some... You are actually completely right, because for the viewer, when Ra says, I'm going to put this bomb back through the Stargate and super nuke
and
Middle
stick a
America,
rock on it for some reason.
Middle America. Would they notice?
Indiana Jones crawls out of a fridge.
We don't care about that. We don't care about that at all. We do care about our heroes to a certain extent. We like the little Stone Age kids. They're all right. They're charming enough.
Yeah. They serve a good purpose, and
yeah,
they are
the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Rufio playing with a lighter.
So Kurt Russell is Peter Pan.
I don't know.
I suppose you must be.
He's Peter Pan in Hook.
Yeah. He definitely is. So what did we like about this film? I will go first.
Okay.
I love the character design of the film.
Right.
I like the effects.
Are you sure? Are you sure you really like that transportation effect between the two Stargates? I mean,
I like one of it.
No. I like the transportation effect up until the point where it just becomes that sort of overdone Stars wormhole thing.
I could literally...
But going into that, it was quite Doctor Who, and that was fun.
What I was going to say, it looks like a bad Doctor Who fan film.
Yeah.
Like, I could go and show you in Adobe After Effects, there's a list of effects that they just keep in it.
That's not fair.
No, listen to me.
Because this was 1994.
They have a list of effects that they kind of are just hangovers that they just keep in there just to show that it's been around a long time. Like, they're legacies that they just keep getting just kept in every version, even though no one uses them anymore. Yeah. And it's exactly the things to make
that feels mean.
So, here's a story for you. I have a friend who used to work at Playboy TV. He was an editor for Playboy TV.
Nice.
And he made a friend there. And after a while, this friend went, do you want to earn some extra money? And he's like, well, yeah, sure. And he goes, okay. I write porn movies on the side. Do you want to start writing them with me? And my mate went, yeah, cool, sure. So they wrote a bunch of blue movies.
That didn't take them long.
And no, that's the thing. It was easy money. And they didn't put their real names to any of them, apart from one, which was a porn parody of Doctor Who, called Dr. Screw.
Of course.
Which got national coverage when Charlie Brooker wrote about it in his column in The Guardian when it came out. And this would have been almost 20 years ago now, so only like 5 years after Stargate came out.
Uh-huh.
I have seen only the opening titles of this. And where they redid in After Effects of 1999/2000 the wormhole, so to speak, effect.
Oh,
and it's better than the wormhole effect in this film.
Okay, all right. So maybe the wormhole effect.
So porn is better than Stargate, is what I'm saying.
That's a statement that could be said about a lot of films, Kieran. All right, so the Stargate wormhole effect maybe wasn't that imaginative. Should we say that?
Yeah.
It wasn't imaginative and it wasn't greatly executed. No. It was definitely, it wouldn't have looked out of place in an 80s movie.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've written some of this film looks like it was shot in 1974.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, if you compared and contrasted that one single effect with almost any visual effect, in Ghostbusters.
You could have done that in the 80s.
Which was 10 years older.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was a case of the digital stuff and the CGI was becoming more prevalent, and it was one of those, they could have done that better using other older techniques, and it would have looked and probably held up better.
I will say that the 3D whirlpool effect when the gate first fires up, and the jet of liquid, not the shimmering thing, the jet liquid that shoots out of it and then goes back in. That still looks really nice.
Yeah, that kind of water effect.
That looks cool.
Anything else?
Yeah.
I really like the design of the Egyptian quote-unquote gods.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like the helmets and stuff. Yeah,
flip up onto Jaimin Honsu's face.
See, now I wrote. Hang on. Uh-oh. I remember how cool the effect of the mask retracting looked when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the DVD I watched on, but it looked terrible.
The jackal head doesn't look that good.
It was just
good.
So the practical heads look great.
Yeah.
But the CG effect of them retracting, I
love that.
No, there's no smoothness in it at all. It just each section just disappears one section at a time.
Yeah.
So they don't actually slot back into one another, which is what you remember happening, and perhaps what they then did with better effects in the TV shows later.
Mm.
Perhaps, I could see that.
Yeah. I was almost looking forward to that coming up, and I was like, oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to sort of fake intricacy.
Yeah.
The way it all peels back bit by bit.
Bit by bit, yeah.
Practically, it's not even required.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. You're working too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so the visual effects maybe not so hot.
So we stomped over one of the things you like.
Stomped-
Carry on. What's the next thing you like?
I do still like the masks. I like the outfits. There's something so cheesy about this film that just appeals to me.
I think everyone has kind of those really, really cheesy movies that you just like for no reason, and it's just, you know. And I can get why this is that for some people.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but I can get why it is for others. I kind of understand it.
So I'll tell you something I liked about this film. The score.
Oh, David Arnold did it, didn't he?
Yeah. And it's funny, even though I've never seen this film from start to finish, and I have watched very little, almost none of the TV show. It would be like 30-second to 5-minute segments while flicking through Sky while I had it.
Yeah.
I knew the theme. I was humming the theme as it played.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to...
It's a great score.
To a good theme.
Yeah.
What else do I like in this film? Oh, shit. No, we might have actually run out of things I like about this film.
Okay.
Oh, there's a good scene. There's the scene where Russell's character, whose name I don't remember, so we'll just call him Kurt Russell. Sergeant Kurt
Colonel
Russell.
Jonathan Jack O'Neill.
Jack O'Neill.
Oh, cool.
Which is a solid ass name.
All right. When Colonel Kurt Russell needs to find linguist James Spader, and he's trying to ask the natives. Basically through sound noises, miming a description of James Spader to these kids.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I do question it takes them a long time to start to be able to communicate with them. And then by that night, James Spader seems fluent in a language that he already knew, that apparently actually they can communicate in.
Well, the point was that he didn't know how to pronounce the words.
Right, okay.
So he knew the language,
but he just couldn't
down.
Right.
So when Showery showed him on the wall and taught him how to pronounce the words, it became pretty easy for him because he's.
So did he essentially just have to put on the Egyptian equivalent of a Yorkshire accent, and they understood him?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. He just didn't have the right accent. Yeah.
Which I think we can all relate to. Sometimes you ever go down the street and you speak to someone who talks back to you in English, but because you weren't expecting the accent they were speaking to you in, you have to ask them to repeat it. There's more to talk about with Stargate because
there's a lot.
I want to ask you guys: does anyone survive this film? Realistically,
I nearly didn't.
In the film, do any of the characters live after this film?
Kurt Russell does.
I hope French Stewart's character didn't. He was really annoying.
He was pretty annoying, but also that's the manliest I've ever seen French Stewart.
Yeah. Which might have been the point.
How the hell did his agent manage him? Well, how about an elite soldier French Stewart?
It is a bit strange, but remember, at the time, Third Rock from the Sun was one of the biggest things on TV.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of Matt LeBlanc being in Lost in Space, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. The only one I think is... So, Kurt Russell is the only one who they seem to have bothered thinking about, his character arc. Yeah. They give him the backstory of the kid.
Yeah.
And
then he gets the redemption arc.
He gets the redemption
not
afterwards.
setting off the bomb.
Yeah, he doesn't commit suicide.
No, but it gives
good.
him... I think the implication is it gives him a newfound lease of life.
Yeah.
That he knows he can go on and go back and be a bit more of a useful member of society, as it were.
Yeah.
So I think he turn into MacGyver for the series, or are they different characters?
They're different character. Oh, is it?
Same character.
Oh, there we go. So he goes home, transforms into Richard Dean Anderson along the way.
Right. Yeah.
And then gets 10 years of TV out of it.
He gets some jaw shaving.
Yeah.
In the cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. No, I didn't realise they were the same. Well, to be honest, I barely watched the show.
Same Jack O'Neill. I mean, this show has spawned...
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
3 spin-off series.
And then those series that also have TV movies.
Yeah, but when you're watching it, you're kind of sitting there thinking, why didn't they just go straight as a TV thing? Because it's a clearly better format for this show, for this entity. Like, this concept plays so much better as a TV show than it does as a
sci-fi sliders, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Sliders was sci-fi.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, the gulf between TV and movies in 1994 was much different to the way it is now. So, like, there were no A-listers on TV in 1994. And TV sci-fi in 94 was
Space Precinct. Anyone?
Space Precinct, the remnants of Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. Like, it was not in a good place.
No.
The Stargate TV series, it kind of reinvigorated TV sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, it would come out same time as Buffy-ish.
I think so. I've got 97 in my head for the first season.
Buffy was 96, wasn't it? So those two shows, I can kind of see that the sort of turning point.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, because clearly there's so much.
213 episodes of SG-1.
Yeah, so there's so much you can do with just like a single Stargate connection, let alone all of the other combinations. So, like,
it's a great concept to expand upon.
Absolutely.
I understand what you're saying. That maybe it should have started as a TV show and gone on from there.
Yeah,
but I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Would Stargate be a great TV show? Would it have been syndicated internationally?
If there hadn't been a movie.
If there hadn't been a movie.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's just the best way to start it off.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm saying that every single person in Stargate dies of the flu.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Because Daniel Jackson won't stop sneezing.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Jackson is ill.
Yeah.
Me too.
Daniel Jackson's ill.
Yeah, I completely
and he goes to this Stone Age civilization. No one has.
People steal his snot rag out of his trousers.
The only reason that Jack O'Neill survives is because he takes a ton of antibiotics when he gets back. Because also they will have developed a bunch of sicknesses that Earth's never seen before. He's going to be quarantined for weeks.
There's so much caution in going through that, yet that's the one thing they don't even think about or address.
Wait, hold on. There is no caution. There is no training. There is no preparation for this military unit going through the Stargate.
Well, they
just walk through.
They don't. They send through the robot.
They
first.
send through the robot. They lose the robot, and they're like, "Oh well, I guess we'll send people. Send the second robot."
Yeah. There is no. I was expecting like a training montage.
Yeah.
Anybody addressing any of the issues they might have. Let's just put a load of guns in a bucket and go through a hole.
Well, it's all based on the idea that Daniel Jackson, James Spader, says, "I can get you back easy, no problem."
Yeah.
That was a lie.
It's not a lie.
No,
it's not a whole truth, but it's not a lie.
Yeah.
It is a lie.
It's not, because he doesn't know that the tablet he needs isn't there.
Very true. Why didn't they just... Okay, so French Stewart is actually in an important scene, supposedly, that answers nothing. When he explains that back in Colorado, wherever it is...
Insert American state.
Yeah. They can't just dial again to get the troops back.
Yes, that's right. And
but that's never explained why they can't.
Oh, well,
they said, we have to dial...
Well, they didn't say, right, Earth, give it 3 days and then fire it up again.
Screw 3 days. Give it an hour.
All right, fine. Yeah.
Give it an hour. It's just a recon.
Yeah.
So, because how do they know that it's only one way?
They have absolutely no reason to know it's one way.
Exactly.
And also,
why would he know?
It's not only one way.
Well, no,
because the Stargate does appear on both sides.
No, but what I mean by one way is it's like it's the same as, think about making a phone call.
Yeah.
If I phone you, you can still talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like the connection is made in one direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing. All right, think of it a different way. Think of it as sending a file to like an FTP or something like that. You're making a connection to something, but nothing's going to come back from there, right?
Sure.
So you're sending something to somewhere.
We have an open connection, so something could come back.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that they don't know. They don't know that that's the case.
Yeah.
Right. But also,
wouldn't you try?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
Before
also,
you send human beings through.
How does French Stewart know that that isn't the case?
it's never even explained to him.
Yeah.
So the fact that James Spader, Daniel Jackson, wasn't able to dial back shouldn't have been a problem. He had no business going on that mission in the first place.
Maybe it's like a travelator.
Okay.
Like at an airport. Yeah. Because once you've got on that, you're only going one way.
So you're saying if they tried to jump in the Stargate on this other world, they'd been gone in and then shot back out. Right back out again.
So essentially, like, you know, wherever you press the go button, it's moving away from you.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's only moving in that direction.
I really wish I'd have paid more attention to the Stargate TV shows. My mother, by the way, was obsessed.
Right.
Do you want to call her and see if she can help?
Because I'm sure they're both ways.
Yeah.
Rendering the entire dramatic structure of this film moot.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if they could be both ways, but can they only go one way at a single point in time? So can you switch it on? It's going, say, I don't know, north to south.
Yep.
And then anything that goes in, you can only go in one end and come out the other.
Yeah.
You can't.
You'd have to dial back to send things one way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's like a travelator. You can only get on and get off at one point. You can't go both ways at the same time.
If only literally anybody in the film had thought of that.
Yeah. So it would have been worth testing. So Daniel Jackson is already on this team for no reason.
Mm.
He'd be useful as a translator.
He would.
But that's all.
But the mission, there was no point in the mission. They weren't supposed to be meeting anyone or doing anything. It was just
to see what was there, yeah. So what's there.
They had no expectation that there would be a civilization or anything there. And if there were, they would have come back. So give them an hour.
Yeah.
Give them 15 goddamn minutes. Go over there, be like, oh yeah, this is a place. And then come back. Daniel Jackson is there for no reason.
It is like they have skipped the recon mission and gone straight into the... Yeah.
That's
why I say they're remarkably unprepared to visit an alien world.
He didn't bring sunblock.
They did take guns, though.
They take a lot of guns.
They took a ton of guns and a nuclear bomb. He then goes up to this giant animal with teeth the size of your forearm, feeds it a chocolate bar. What's that?
Poison that thing.
His reasoning is it's got a harness on, so therefore someone must have tamed it. Someone's domesticated it and it must be tamed. But you know,
then he's just poisoned someone's.
I've been kicked by a horse that had a harness on.
He is crazy.
Yeah.
He then proceeds to, you know, they get found by these Stone Age people and Bonnie Way guy, who I know better in another film.
The only thing I know him from is Mr. Deeds.
He is Mr. Deeds, yeah. Let's find out the name of this guy.
I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. That's the thing I remember him from.
And he shacks up with Showery.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how, the amount of diseases she's given him?
Well, also, this is up there with Jason the Argonauts for I Love You person I met very recently.
Yes.
Well, he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in the Middle East, right? Or
he's special.
Yeah. She's probably seen nothing like him before, and she's won over by how just
dorky he is,
smooth-faced he is.
Do you honestly
Eric Avari,
do you honestly
good job. He's in The Mummy too.
Do you think that would honestly
The Mummy as well, or The Mummy too?
The Mummy as well.
Okay.
Do you think that she's legitimately so horny that she will she's got over the fear of the fact that there appears to be someone from another planet standing in front of her?
And also, as far as she knows, he is like a Goa'uld. He's an alien because he's wearing the Ra necklace.
Yeah.
When she's trying to jump his bones.
When she's told to jump his bones.
Yeah, that's true. She's
pushed in there by Bald Priest Man.
Yeah.
And then he gets with her anyway?
Well, he doesn't then. He does later.
He does later, but still under absolutely no idea that she's interested in him, like interested. She just says, I didn't tell them you didn't want me. And he's like, well, goddamn.
Well, I do now.
Yeah. What's going on, Daniel Jackson? Can you imagine the amount of mono you get from making out with a Stone Age girl who's been living... Like, my God, the STDs.
Yeah.
She hasn't brushed her teeth, ever.
Somebody has it, and somebody's invented toothbrushes in that town because everybody has very nice teeth.
And eyebrow plucking, but for the women, definitely not for the men. What is happening here? They're eating this food that's like... Yeah. They don't know what this food is. They don't know how these people's digestive systems have evolved.
Just pick a thing out of the back of a lizard.
That's probably raw chicken. They said tastes like chicken. Probably raw chicken. Salmonella. Congratulations, Daniel Jackson. He decides at the end of the film to stay beyond the Stargate. Mm-hmm. With his...
So he didn't have to appear in the TV series.
Actually, they recast him too.
I meant James Spader, but yeah.
Well, yeah. with his definitely hairy-bodied, fuzzy-toothed concubine. Let's be honest, concubine.
I was wondering how hard he pushed for that ending, knowing that he wouldn't have to appear in a sequel.
Well,
unless it was the quest for Daniel Jackson, Stargate 2: The Quest for Daniel Jackson.
But there's the problem, because that's not at all what happens. You'd push to get killed off.
Yeah.
But if you're leaving him beyond the Stargate, he's a loose end, isn't he? He gets recast for SG-1 as well by Michael Shanks, a character who...
Definitely someone I've heard of, yep.
He sort of looks like a testosterone version of James.
Right. I was actually surprised at how little action there was in this. And how slow it was.
The shootout in among the pillars.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out what was going on.
That just made me think of GoldenEye, playing GoldenEye on the N64.
Because all the gun cocking sound effects from the same sound effects library.
And it was just like that bloody temple. I was expecting Baron Samedi on Odd Job to run out somewhere.
The other thing I like on the subject of the gun cocking sound effects, over the course of that scene, there's 6 sound effects for 4 guns before anybody's taken a shot.
Oh my God. So Ra... played by the dude from The Crying Game.
Yes.
Jay Davidson.
Yeah. Who didn't...
Great little performance, very like gurning performance.
He didn't want to do the film.
I read this.
Yeah.
He asked for an unreasonable amount of money because he didn't want to do it.
And they just went, yes.
They paid him $1 million for this role.
Good God.
It was his second role.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was an Oscar nominee, so, you know... Or did he win? No, he was nominated, right?
I'm not sure.
Definitely nominated, possibly won.
He looks like so
He was nominated. He didn't win.
Yeah, so he was Oscar nommed. So I can kind of see that. And then I think he just jacked it all in and went back to being a fashion assistant, like what he did before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really good role in this.
Yeah.
I thought. You know, apparently the original version of the film had no subtitles for his speech, and audiences just had no idea what was going on. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought he and Kurt Russell were
Jay Davidson, he's got this great look to him.
Yeah.
Perfect for the role.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they kind of did the best of a bad script, those two.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know?
I could see that. Almost, I wouldn't mind watching this film if you take the romantic subplot out, all the caveman shagging and everything else, and
just leave the
and
other
just have like a man walks into town kind of story.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think
out Ra, beat up Jaimin Honsu.
If you kind of expanded
Who didn't
them,
get a surname in the credits?
No,
just Jaimin.
I think if you just kind of spent a bit more time developing those characters properly rather than relying on them being cliched.
Yeah,
like you could have.
It's Roland Emmerich though.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like if you could have engaged a bit more with those characters. All of them.
It would for this film. Tom and I watched the director's cut DVD, which is 124 minutes.
Yeah,
that's enough.
I realise that, but there are scenes that are for character development. They just don't bother. They just rest on the cliches, and there is a lot of wasted time setting up without actually setting up. Like, because the science of it and the concept of it is actually really simple. They didn't need to spend so much time on that. They should have spent more time on the characters, I think, to give you someone to care about.
Yeah, but the science as well doesn't make a lick of sense.
No.
Let's ignore Stargates, because Stargates, I mean, the idea of wormholes in space and time, that, you know, well above my pay grade, but it's something that was very established in fiction. So let's ignore that. Let's instead talk about these massive unwieldy staffs
that somehow shoot lightning at the end.
That shoot laser beams that blow stuff up. Mm-hmm. They're very slow and they're very crap. And they must be an absolute nightmare to aim.
And somebody figures out, it was one of the humans, it's either Spade or Russell, works out how to use one the moment he picks it up.
Yeah. He's just like,
the linguist works out how to use the Death Staff the moment he picks it up.
Because in a very sort of a weird decision, Ra decides to make Daniel Jackson kill the rest of the soldiers by giving him this staff. In what world was that going to work? I don't. It's a very odd decision.
Can we talk about the rest of that scene?
Yeah.
So he sees like the rebel kids in the crowd, and they like shiftily under their coats show, "Hey, we have machine guns." Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, okay, this is going to be a rescue attempt. Let's go for it." This linguist and the technologically stunted villagers are bloody incredible shots.
They're great, but these
are kids who have saw a gun for the first time 2 days ago.
But those guns are guns are designed, to be very good, very easy to aim with for human beings.
For all
those
we know,
staffs. Can you imagine holding them? You hold them down at your hip and you point. Yeah. Can you imagine how difficult it would be to aim with something that you have absolutely no sight reference?
But
I'm going to rig up a broomstick and a Nerf gun when I get home and see what happens.
I mean, we say that though about the kids. Like we know that the personal hygiene isn't that great from what we've seen, and the food and the technology they've developed. We don't know for definite that they don't have Call of Duty. Maybe that's how they've been spending their afternoons.
Yeah, maybe.
They the staffs I have a problem with. So we've gone over the staffs that are impossible to aim with. They use this exact same staff on their fighter jets. They have fighter jets.
Complete with attached wires you can see whenever they're flying around.
Sure. So they have fighter jets that use these staffs as air-to-surface assault. Why? Use bombs.
It's almost like you've got all of this technology, yet you're still relying on, essentially Second World War.
Yeah.
Like having a gun mounted on a wing, so to hit anything, you've got an entire plane at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
the planes suck, right?
I like the design of them though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They actually reminded me of the ones, the thing that Will Smith steals in Independence Day.
No, it probably was the same model.
They look very cool. They're well, but you'd imagine them to be maybe a bit more sci-fi. You've invented interstellar travel. These things are, they're basically Spitfires with laser beams.
Yeah.
In terms of what they can do. Even in the 90s, the United States Air Force was well beyond that.
Yeah.
Britain were making Harrier jump jets. Well beyond what Ra has.
Yeah.
Absolute crap.
Yeah, I guess space Egyptians weren't.
Well, yeah.
Space Egyptians in their space Egyptian pyramids.
Yeah. Which I can't decide.
Dock on the Pyramid of Giza and the Pyramid of Giza on countless worlds.
Mm-hmm. I think
Why is it made of stone? Why would your spaceport be made of stone? That's a terrible design. You wouldn't make anything out of stone.
I loved that idea that was something, it was just a shape for the thing to land on.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, think about all of that wasted space within that spacecraft, because you have to have a massive receiving pyramid within the spacecraft to be able to land it on anything. It's kind of like, well, surely just give it legs.
Can you just give it legs, give it feet? Can you imagine how much air resistance
underneath
a pyramid both ways, any direction that pyramid travels, it's crap. Yeah. It's terrible. The amount of extra thrust you'd have to generate just to reach escape velocity with a goddamn pyramid, let alone moving left and right, it would flip around and spin. Can't do it. So it has to go either straight up or straight down. However, air resistance would prevent it from going straight down and prevent it from going straight up. It is a clown rodeo of piloting.
Well, this is why the pyramids don't move. That's why they stay where they are in Egypt.
And oh my god. And this probably encouraged...
Remember, you were surprised when we didn't like this film.
There's just... Alright, so you've got the Stargate team who decide to go into the desert in jungle fatigues. Why? You couldn't stand out anymore. It's impossible for you to stand out. You knew you were going to the desert, and even if someone's, you knew you were.
Do you know?
And you've created desert tents, all well and good. Running around in green fatigues.
Do you know what?
Green. It's the one colour that doesn't exist on that planet.
I'm amazed that any of them survived.
Well, they weren't if Kurt Russell was going to have his way.
Well, that's true, yeah.
With the clock on the bomb that ticks down at way more than 1 second per second.
Yep.
And then mysteriously takes forever to go off.
Yeah.
That is exactly how these time bombs work.
Yeah.
Sure.
They only go fast if you're looking at them.
At all. Here's the question.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a big problem with the ending of this film.
Yeah. If his mission is just to commit suicide and set a bomb off, why has it got a timer on it?
It doesn't need to have a timer. It could have a button.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're supposed to have gone back before he sets it off, right?
And why does he need to be there at all? At all?
Yeah.
Because we know that signals travel through the Stargate.
Yeah, so you could just
send
monitor
the
it.
signal from home.
You could send the signal from home, shut off the Stargate, boom, done.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. What I do like, having watched Stargate and them saying, well, the problem with the Stargate isn't their Stargate. The danger is our Stargate, which Kurt Russell agrees. And then in SG-1, they put that awesome metal sheath on. Have you seen that? In the show, the first thing they do in the show is put this metal covering. It's like an iris over the Stargate. So anytime aliens invade, they come through the Stargate, splat, go. They travel at greater than the speed of light into a titanium
Nice.
covering. It's very cool. It's very cool. And I like the fact the show sort of addresses that problem that the film brings up, despite the fact that the film has greater problems.
Maybe, like you talk about, like, send the signal through, turn off the Stargate, let the thing blow up, and then you just have to wait till the astronomers back on Earth just sitting in a room, and there's one guy just paid to sit and wait and watch for either the radio signal or the tiny flash of light on a screen that signifies that planet has exploded. And you've just got that one guy waiting. Maybe that's what the wow signal is.
Speaking of planets exploding, Ra has already covered that if you explode a nuclear device with the special mineral that he mines, the device explodes 100 times.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sort of being a bit glib earlier when I said it would have blown up Middle America, because 100 times it probably would have blown up the whole of North America.
Yeah.
What would have happened to that planet?
Well, see, this is what I was trying to work out, because
O'Neill's bomb survived, because the Stargate is made of that mineral. In fact, that was a mining town. That entire region is made of that mineral, and it's probably fair to say
it would have destroyed the planet.
The entire planet would have been destroyed.
I think that was the intention.
That planet now looks like you've taken a bite out of an apple.
Yeah. But the other thing that is, so obviously, spoilers, end of the film, the bomb gets put on the spaceship and it blows up in space.
Yeah. Which is probably full of that mineral and made of that mineral.
Yeah, and how close is that to the planet? Because I was thinking, like, surely that's the whole point of an EMP, right? Having an explosion in the atmosphere, all that kind of stuff, right? So how far out of the atmosphere is it when it explodes? Does that do anything to the planet? Does it knock it off its axis? Does that desert become
glass?
Or does it become an ice?
I mean,
like Ice Age. Like, there's
what you'd have to do some maths, and maybe what we'll do, if you're watching this, you know what, I'm going to commit to it. If you're watching this, you can
listening to
this. Sorry, I will write in the description the answer to this question. Because the sun can knock out electronics with solar flares.
Yeah.
Incredible solar flares. What is 100 times the strength of... I suppose we need to know the megatonnage of
a solar flare.
Of that nuke.
Oh. Yes.
And
do
how
they ever say
that
it?
is to a
Probably.
solar flare.
We were just so bored we weren't paying attention.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. If I don't figure this out, I'm going to apologise to you in the comments below. But I'm going to figure out how dangerous this would be, because it seems to be about the range of maybe like a normal satellite.
I think it's a bit.
Let's keep this in the edit so he has to do it.
Yeah, well,
damn it.
Yeah. I think it's out of the atmosphere, but still. Put it this way: if it was Earth, it would be out of the atmosphere, maybe a bit further out than the space stations and satellites, but certainly within the moon. Right?
Oh, definitely within the moon, and I think within the ISS.
I don't. No, I think it would be further than that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe I'll have to look at that scene again, and we'll decide. It's probably time to wrap up this episode.
Yeah.
So, to summarise, I thought Stargate was good fun. These two grumps thought it was a bit naff.
I was with it for a while, and there's some of it I like. So the idea that I thought, this is a movie full of aliens. These aliens are like very, suspiciously human looking and have very clean teeth. And then it's revealed there's only the main kid has sparkly Hollywood whites.
He does.
He does.
You can almost see more filming kit reflected in his teeth than you can in Kurt Russell's sunglasses.
This is what society looks like without sugar, Kieran.
There's actually only one alien in the whole story, one non-human in the whole
That's
story.
true. Yeah,
and that's
Ra. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Because Horus.
Oh no, the sort of henchmen of
Horus
Ra.
were they the same?
They're other things.
And Anubis.
Okay, I didn't realise they were the same sort of weird little grey aliens.
They both have the tummy worms.
I see. Okay, fine.
That doesn't get mentioned in the film.
So the grey alien. Okay, yes. Actually, before we wrap up, let's just talk about one massive inconsistency with the entire universe, because in the original Stargate movie, they're inhabited by grey aliens, like the spirits of these grey aliens.
Yeah.
Ra certainly is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you see the grey alien during the...
Yeah.
Yeah, they do some backstory.
When the backstory...
There's
and
the point,
when he dies,
yes.
the grey alien inside him goes...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once SG-1 comes in, they immediately retcon that. Immediately. The grey aliens... They do exist,
right?
But they don't even come along until the back 9 of Stargate 1. Like, not the first series, but the entire show. The Goa'uld, which are these things, are tummy worms.
I always just assumed that the grey alien / Ra was using them in the same way that he's using the humans as slaves. It's just, it's like having soldier ants and worker ants. And I just assumed that the aliens were the pinnacle of the food chain, if you like.
Yeah.
And then he had found and was essentially picking species to do his
henchmen. No,
exactly,
they're tummy aliens. Well, at least as far as and they are the consciousnesses.
Yes, yeah. No, I get all of that. What I meant was
meat gloves.
What I meant was that they were just like he's picking different species for different jobs.
No, that's why they've got those voices.
Yeah, I still understand that. I'm just saying that I thought that he's found that species and he's gone, they're going to be good for that, but I'm going to be their boss.
Oh, so they're just aliens.
So they're just a different type they're a different type of alien.
Right.
The worm is a different type of alien, and he's gone, if I use that to do this, then I get henchmen. Yeah. So he's orchestrating it all. So that's how I kind of figured it, but they don't really go into that much detail in that.
And what I was going to say was the part I liked was that Planet Egypt, the people on Planet Egypt...
Did they ever give it a name?
They talk about, like, the galaxy it's in.
Right,
the planet never has a name.
Right.
I like that they are the descendants of displaced humans.
Yes.
Not...
Yes.
So
humans are intergalactic slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I initially thought that they were proper full-on alien beings that happened to look humanoid. I have no idea how this is as popular as it is and spawned such a massive franchise. It's just a not very good sci-fi film with a couple of interesting ideas that it does badly.
It's a solid concept to tell an unlimited number of stories.
Yeah, that's why it's a good idea for a TV show.
Yeah.
I can totally understand how it became a TV show.
Yeah.
But having said that, it should never have been a movie. In my opinion, it just doesn't work as a single entity movie.
You could say that about a lot of what Roland Emmerich
does.
Looking forward to Independence Day, the TV show.
I would also argue that you wouldn't have even seen a lot of need for Stargate to be a TV show if it never happened.
What do you mean as a film?
If
the movie hadn't existed, it would not be a TV show.
Yeah.
Do you know a thing?
And if SG-1 never existed, you would never have asked for it.
I disagree.
It might have eventually been a TV show, but it would not have been a TV show for at least another 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, until TV sci-fi was a big thing.
Yeah, and arguably it would have been better for it.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's kind of just sort of crap sliders.
But the resurgence in TV sci-fi, we're in a paradox here, was partly caused by Stargate. So, wrap your head around that.
We're in a loop. Well, that's it for this episode of Anniversary Edition. If you enjoyed Stargate, please comment and let us know what you think or thought of the movie, and just how wrong Kieran and Tom are in their views. I'm going to hand this over as a little teaser for the next episode of Anniversary Edition to Tom.
Yeah, so I'm hosting the next show, and we are going to be looking at The Terminator.
We will need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's the sequel.
That's the sequel.
That's the sequel.
Yeah.
No, this one is your clothes, give them to me.
Yeah. There are so many things that you think of this film, and then you go, oh no, that's the second one.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great fun. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you very soon. This podcast was recorded in the Upbeat Studio in Soho. For studio inquiries, drop us an email on studio@upbeatproductions.com. You can also find us on Twitter. Head to @upbeatprod to see what we're up to, and @upbeat_ents for our film coverage and entertainment news.